Live from Casa del Rio in Nashville, Tennessee, just down the river from the Grand Ole Opry, it's the Dreamers Road with Stephanie Urbina Jones and the Honky Tonk Mariachi. Grab a seat, grab a drink, saddle up, and let's take a ride down this Dreamers Road. Vámonos, y'all.
Hola, mis amigos. I hope everybody is doing well tonight. This is Stephanie Urbina Jones. Welcome to the new edition of the Dreamers Road. I am so excited. I have been waiting, looking forward to interviewing and sharing the story, the life, the seeds, the heart of this next artist that I'll be sharing with you tonight. Her name is Rissi Palmer, you guys. She's an artist. She's a host. She's created a podcast called Color Me Country. You're going to get to hear all about her inspiring life and the Dreamer's Road that brought her here and inspiring people all along her journey. But before we get started talking about Rissi Palmer, her life, her seeds already inspired mine. Obviously, being an African-American woman in country music, me being one of the very few Latinas in country music, we had this to share. And I wanted to start by celebrating her and sharing my Spanish honky tonk mariachi version, country music with chili peppers, of a classic country song dunked in Spanish. This is Jolene in Espanol, and this is for my new amiga de corazón, Rissi Palmer. Here you go, you guys, enjoy.
Jolene, 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 no te lleves a mi hombre, por favor. Jolene, 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 aunque puedas te lo ruego, por favor. Tu belleza sin comparación, que bello castaño y ojos esmeraldas y con piel de marfil. Tu sonrisa como la primavera, tu voz como lluvia de verano. No puedo competir contigo, Jolene. Tus sueños el hablar de ti, no puedo contener todas las lágrimas cuando te llama Jolene. Y fácilmente entiendo cómo podrías arrebatármelo y no sabes lo que es para mí, Jolene. Jolene, 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 Jolene. No te lleves a mi hombre, por favor. Jolene, 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 aunque puedas te lo ruego, por favor. Escoger, yo no podré amar otra vez. Él es el único para mí, Jolene. Contigo tenía que hablar, pues mi felicidad depende de lo que decidas tú, Jolene. Jolene, 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 no te lleves a mi hombre, por favor. Jolene, 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 aunque puedas te lo ruego, por favor. Aunque puedas te lo ruego, por favor.
That's dedicated to my guest today, Rissi Palmer. We are two women, mothers, artists of life, rocking our roots, planting seeds of inspiration and hope. I'm so excited to have her. I'm going to share just a little bit about her. Mike, would you bring up Rissi's picture? Rissi Palmer's gifts lies in reaching across all musical boundaries. While she made her mark in country music, she is equally at home in R&B music, bringing the entire spectrum of popular music to bear on music she calls Southern soul. The daughter of Georgia natives, Rissi was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and spent her adolescent years in St. Louis, Missouri. Raised in a musical family that loved both country and R&B, Rissi was a part of a singing and dancing troupe sponsored by a local television station. And at age 16, and by the time she was 19 years old, she'd already been offered her first publishing and label deal. In 2007, she released her debut album, Rissi Palmer, charting singles Country Girl, Hold On to Me, and No Air. Since then, Rissi has independently released a Christmas single, her first children's album, Best Day Ever, and an EP entitled The Back Porch Sessions. Her most recent album, Revival, was released in 2019 and has been critically hailed as her most personal and uplifting work to date. A few highlights throughout her musical career include performances at the White House, New York's Lincoln Center, and multiple appearances on the Grand Ole Opry. She's toured extensively across the country, sharing stages with Taylor Swift, the Eagles, Chris Young, Charlie Crockett, and many more. Rissi has also made numerous national appearances on Oprah and Friends, CMT, Insider, CNN, CBS, This Morning America, This Morning GMA, Entertainment Tonight, and Fox's Soul's The Book of Sean, and has been featured in Associated Press, Ebony, Essence, Huffington Post, New York Times, Newsweek, NPR's All Things Considered, People, Rolling Stone, The Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, just to name a few, y'all. As a passionate voice for country artists of color and those who have been marginalized in mainstream country music, Rissi launched her own radio show, Color Me Country, with Rissi Palmer on Apple Music Country. Since making its debut on August 2020, listeners have been treated to in-depth and riveting, often funny, yet very necessary conversations with Brittany Spencer, Chapel Hart, Crystal Shawanda, Michael Mars, The Warren Treaty, Darius Rucker, and Mickey Guyton. In a recent episode on February 14th, Rissi hosted a virtual roundtable discussion with country stars Maren Morris, Cam, author journalist Andrea Williams about racism in country music and how everyone from fans to the artists themselves has a duty to work towards equality within the genre. Fans can tune in to Color Me Country with Rissi Palmer every other Sunday on Apple Music at 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern to watch previous episodes on demand. In conjunction with her radio show, Rissi has also created the Color Me Country Artist Grant Fund, designed to support new country artists of color who are just beginning to build their music careers. Coming up, Rissi will be among some of country's music's most notable stars, being showcased in the Country Music Hall of Fame, America's current State of Music exhibition in Nashville, Tennessee. You guys, I am totally blown away. We're going to start this interview with a little performance. Here she is, just a moment at the Grand Ole Opry, you guys. Here's Rissi Palmer.
Tonight at 7, we're gonna go out there and do a sound check. I'm excited and nervous.
Here comes Sunday morning, palms up in praise, yeah. It's all about my mama naming eyes right. Beautiful.
I go on at 9 o'clock. I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm extremely overwhelmed and like honored and humbled and all kinds of things by this experience. I've been here before. I came to the Opry 6 years ago. It was right after I first came to Nashville. It's emotional for me for a lot of reasons because it's like a milestone almost. And then the circle, I cried the hardest when I stood there because like all the people that I look up to stood in that circle. It's a big day, and I'm trying not to get caught up in all the little extras and everything that you have to do and all the details, and just really enjoy what's happening to me in this experience. And I'm excited.
Always makes me smile.
I met this lady at the Fan Fest parade. There was a parade downtown. She was really, really nice, really, really lovely, and a lot of great things are happening for her. Please make welcome Rissi Palmer, everybody.
Oh my God. I'm so excited to be here tonight.
You don't have to be a Georgia peach to man a peach to say. From Arkansas to appreciate a Southern girl. Don't need no king or West Virginia to have it in ya now. Show the world you're a country girl.
One of my mother's favorite singers was Patsy Cline. And when I was a little girl, we used to, on Saturday mornings, on Saturday mornings, we would clean the house and my mom would put on Patsy records. And so on my upcoming album that comes out in the fall, you're all gonna buy it, it's great. We did a remake of this record, and I hope you all enjoy it, and it's extra amazing to be standing where Patsy stood.
On your mind, tell me now, get it over, hurt me now, get it over, if you get leaving on your mind.
I didn't cry as much as I thought I was going to, so that was good. It's fun. I mean, they're a great audience, and they were extremely receptive and fun and into it. It's just like, it's so surreal to walk out on that stage and have your name in the program, and it's unreal.
I love to remember.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, please make welcome my guest today, Rissi Palmer.
Hi!
Hi!
I'm like 12 in that video.
Oh my God. You know what? You are as beautiful right in this moment. I feel your
so
heart
sweet.
and your soul. That same girl that stood in that circle. I mean, it brings tears to my eyes. Oh
my gosh. No, I got an opportunity to do it again a couple weeks ago. Oh, I guess it's about a month ago now. And it's the first time that I did it in like 13 years. And so it was just as emotional. And it's funny, I was just watching that and I'm like, number one, you're a baby. And number two, it just was like, it never stops being awesome. And Stephanie, you're amazing. That video is like the prettiest thing I've ever seen before. That's gorgeous.
Thank you. It was, you and I have a lot in common in a lot of ways. We both came here to rock our roots, to share our love and our seeds and our messages through song. And also,
yes,
we're going to hear, I know part of my story is to celebrate my roots, to raise the love and the awareness from where I came from. So
absolutely.
I felt that in you. And so I want to know, and I know people that are watching this, the Dreamers Road is really like, wow, how did this happen? And how did you come to be? How did this magic happen in you, this brew girl? Did it happen when you were a child? Did you come out of the womb singing?
My mother wrote in my baby book when I was about like almost 2 that she sings constantly. And so for as long as I can remember, music has been my means of communication. It just always has. And I think the moment that I realized that it could be a job, I was like, wait a minute, you get paid for this? And so then, like,
Right.
and so when I realized that that was the case, I think my mom took me to see a musical, and I asked her, like, so mommy, that's what they do? And she was like, yeah. And I said, like, you have it, like, your job, that's their job? And she said, yes. And I was like, oh, bet. And so it's just been, I've been hooked ever since. It was a wrap.
It was a wrap too.
It was a
It's
wrap.
true.
Yeah.
And were you just like, tell us what it was like. So that moment where your heart just went, that's it. And you just kept moving down that road in all the ways. Like,
yeah, I was one of those people. I was one of those kids that you didn't have to push me to want to be on stage or to want to be involved in things at school or in church or in the community or whatever. Like, I was the one that was looking for auditions in the newspaper when I was a kid. And like, I was trying to figure out how I could get the choir director to give me a solo and all those kind of things. Like, I just was I've always been driven to do this. Like, there's nothing else that I saw for myself, quite frankly. And so, yeah, it's just always been like very self-motivated for a long time.
And obviously it was supported by your parents, by your family.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Would you say your faith? Would faith play into this?
Everything. I mean, my mom and dad, like, I'm here with them right now. We're at the beach right now, so I'm not in my normal surroundings. But my parents are here, and I owe everything to them and like their belief in me and their support of me. Because so when I officially started this journey, I was 18 years old, and I was a freshman in college, and I was on the dean's list and all the good things, and I was leaving school every weekend to go work on a demo. And so my parents knew that I wanted to make music, and so I just decided, I sat down with them and I was like, okay, I think I should leave college. I think I should do this full time.
Wow.
And I know that college is a dream. I mean, I'm very lucky in that, like, both of my parents were first generation college graduates. And so it was kind of a foregone conclusion that that was going to be me as well. And I was just like, that's just, I don't think, as much as I love school, I love music more. And I was like, I can do this, but I would really love to do it with your blessing. And they gave me their blessing. Wow. And yeah, which is like, I think about that. Like, I think about that for a kid right. And how big that is.
Yeah.
And they did, and they gave me their blessing and like supported me. And, my dad, I still have the cards where my dad would like slip me money and not tell my mom. And my mom would do the same thing. So like, and that sort of thing. And like, but they sustained me through it. Like, all the hard parts, all the scary parts, all of that. Like, my parents and my grandmother, who's not here anymore, but was a huge, huge support. Yeah.
That is just really touching and really beautiful. And, I'm a mother, I have a 16-year-old. So, I know that all we want for our children is for them to be happy and to be well. And I can imagine that would be a hard choice
oh my God.
That, but the fact that they just said, yes, follow your heart.
Yeah.
We're here, go against the system of what you think. That's amazing. So then what happened? So then did you come to Nashville? I mean, like, were you?
So it's a hot mess. So I came with, I had managers at the time. I had female managers, Black female managers.
Wow.
And at first, the music we were trying to do, that was around the time of Lauryn Hill. That was the time of when I graduated high school. That was Lauryn Hill. That was Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, all that. And so they were like, well, you're a young Black female, and so of course we're going to try to do pop with you. And I'll never forget it. We were sitting in a hotel and they asked me, well, what kind of songs are you always writing in that journal? And so I just sang one of my songs and they were just like, Rissi, it sounds country. Like, what did you write this for? And I was like, well, I was thinking about Reba McEntire when I wrote this song. And they're like, Reba McEntire, so you like country? And I was like, yeah, I love country music. And they were like, well, Rissi, that's what you need to do. Like, that's what we need to do. That's your thing. And so we completely changed course. And I swear it felt like the universe like came together the moment that we made that decision, because not long after that, through like a bunch of really kind of interesting channels, too long to talk about here, but like 6 degrees of separation, we met Deborah Allen, the country singer Deborah Allen.
Oh, I love her.
And yes, and she produced my very first demo.
Wow.
I was 19 years old, and she produced the first one, and her husband Raymond shopped my first project. And we got some interest. And unfortunately, a lot of people were very apprehensive. They're like, I'm not really sure how to find songs for someone like you, was the quote. Mm-hmm. And it was, that was disheartening, because it's like, well, I don't know what someone like me is. And so I know that I like songs. I know I like good songs. So whoever, like whatever artist that you have that you have good songs for, I would really appreciate those same songs. Right. But yeah. And so what I thought was going to be a really short situation turned into 7 years. I didn't get a record deal for 7 years. And in that time, I was offered a deal from Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam, but they wanted to make a pop record. And that's not what I wanted to do. And so I ended up turning down that deal. And that was a really hard deal. And at that point, I was 20. And then there was a situation with Brian McKnight. He was going to be getting a label deal. And we had gone in the studio and recorded a couple sides. And he was completely fine with me being a country artist and that sort of thing. And then 9/11 happened. And like literally the week that I was supposed to go to New York and meet the partners and everything, 9/11 happens. And then there's a hiatus because of course we couldn't fly for a while and that sort of thing. And so then the deal ended up not happening. And so then there were a few years and I lived in New York for a while, but Nashville was always like base. So I would spend time in New York and then I would go to Nashville and write. Like I would do that several times a month. And this was back when Southwest had like $40 flights. So right. I would do this. I worked retail. I waitressed. I sang demos at night. I sang background vocals for bands and all this different things. And then a very chance meeting at a party in Los Angeles, I handed my demo to a gentleman and he was like, so what kind of music do you sing? And I said, I sing country. And he's like, you don't sing country. And he went out to his car and listened to the demo and he's just like, oh my God, you're a country singer. This is crazy. And gave it to his friend, and the friend owned 1720 Records, the record label that I eventually signed to in 2006. And so I started working on my first project, and we released Country Girl in 2007. And that song made me the first Black woman in 20 years to get on the Billboard country charts at the time, which was really awesome. And yes. Then 2008, we released the whole album, and I released 2 more songs, played the Grand Ole Opry. Went on tour with Sawyer Brown. My first tour was opening act for Sawyer Brown. Wow. With Chris Young and Carolyn Dawn Johnson, and that was pretty amazing. Like just getting to watch all these incredible performers who had been doing it way before me, and like just getting to follow them on stage and like open for them, and like it was amazing. And there were a lot of really great times, and then there were a lot of really not so great times, which I'm sure that you can relate to, being different. And country music is not known for being like super welcoming to women, and or like not treating women like they should be treated as equals. And add to that being a woman of color. And I want to say the hopeful part of me, because I try to be a pretty positive person. I think for the most part, people wanted to be welcoming. I think that we're afraid of what we don't know and what we don't understand. And we think that we're giving people good advice when we tell them to kind of change parts of themselves to make themselves more palatable. And so, I'm having conversations with people. I wear my hair natural. I always have. And, there were times where maybe we change your hair, maybe we straighten your hair. So it's a little less, intimidating to people. Or, maybe we change the way we dress you so that you look more like these girls. So you fit in with them as opposed to looking like how you look. And, just comments and things that they're thinking that they're giving you a compliment, or maybe they're not thinking that they're giving you a compliment, but they're just saying these things to you. And you just want to play the game and you want to be a part of it. And so you don't make a big stink about it. And it was a lot of that, and a lot of opportunities that, behind the scenes, I know what was being said about me. But in front of the camera, I can't say that because, you're an artist and you want everybody to like you, and you want to you're not putting up a fight and you're not making trouble, and you're just, you're going with the flow. And I did this for years, and it got to a point where I started feeling like I was diminishing myself and making myself smaller or making myself different so that I was fitting in with what everybody wanted me to be. And in 2009, I ended up leaving the record company, and it took me about a year to get off, and it wasn't a pleasant ending. And I've been independent ever since. I got my freedom in 2010, and I left Nashville and moved to North Carolina. I got married, found out I was pregnant with my oldest, and I have been in North Carolina and an independent artist ever since then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you for your reverence. Thank you for speaking from your love and your truth, the grit and the grace, all of it. Because I think all of it, I really appreciate. Part of like I'm inspired by is hearing your story and these chance meetings, these chance moments, whether it was the love of your parents or meeting this guy and, whatever happened in Nashville or on the Southwest flight or out in LA.
Yes.
All these like meant to be things, even to the point where you got to the point where you said, that's it. I'm leaving. Here's to my sovereignty. I don't know what's next, but I know it's time for me.
It ain't this.
Freedom. It ain't this.
Yes.
And then for you to be, making your life and being a mom and a wife, and then for it to come back full circle, because so many exciting things. It just feels like those seeds
Exactly.
when they planted are like they've been taking root, and it feels like what's coming now through you is not only the music, but it is this powerful woman, an artist, and
yeah,
at this moment in time in history, so
it's a it's a weird I was telling my husband, I think that if you had asked me 11 years ago, 12 years ago, where did I think I was going to be, I would have had a completely different answer than what I'm actually doing right now. So yeah, I feel like God, the universe, whatever you call it, if you allow it, if you leave yourself open, you can end up in like just very interesting places. Like you can end up in places that you never dreamed for yourself, but are fully equipped to take hold of and to seize. And I feel like that's what it is that's happening right now for me. Like yeah.
I love that. I mean, I believe it's so funny. We're two women talking here. I believe that our dreams literally have energy, and that those young dreamers, that 2-year-old and that 5 and that 17 and that 19 and that 30-year-old, that like it's like they gain momentum, and that even if they're like not, blooming right at that moment, at any moment they can come to live. And I feel like that's happening for you. And I want to talk more about that, but I do want to go back. We have a video here because songwriting became an important thing for you, right?
Yes, very.
Right. And so
very.
the very first song where you stepped out to make to say, here I am. I want to take you back. I know it's been years ago, but again, you played and have been honored at the Bluebird. Again, one of our renowned listening
yes.
here in Nashville. So let's go back there. Here's Rissi with a song that she wrote, which was her breakout song called Country Girl, live from the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville, Tennessee.
Wow.
Oh no, it's a kind of fear that makes you walk. It comes Sunday morning, palms up in praise. Yeah, it's all about my mama and eyes raised. It's state of mind, no matter where you're from. Living like your grandma does. Feels good home training the common thing. Yeah. This is who you are, let me hear you sing. Oh, you don't have to be a Georgia peach from Savannah, Mississippi, from Arkansas to appreciate the Southern draw. Don't need no kids from West Virginia, have it now. Oh yeah, that sweet as molasses down on the side. See what you might call real coffee. That's thick, y'all. Oh yeah, I'm a country girl, born and bred. This state of mind, no matter where you're from. Living like your grandma did. Oh, who's good on training ain't a common thing. No, if this is who you are, let me hear you sing. Oh, you don't have to be a Georgia peach from Savannah, Mississippi, from Arkansas to appreciate the Southern draw. You don't need no kid from West Virginia to have it in you. Show the world you're a country girl. Clap your hands. Ladies, if you understand, let me hear y'all clap your hands. If you hear me and you know you're bad, all you country girls clap your hands. You don't have to be a Georgia peach from Savannah, Mississippi.
You do it like that.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen or heard this in forever. So like I was having a moment. No, that was I'm
I hope
sorry.
it's okay. I'm throwing it back.
No, no,
It's
I love Blue, and I like that. I hadn't watched that in a really long time, and like I adore him, and he's passed, and so it was
oh,
nice to see him,
oh.
and it was nice to hear him, and like I hadn't listened to that in forever, so it was good.
Well,
No, it was good. It was great.
I'm so glad. Well, I mean, what I see, I see the woman in front of me, and I'm about to share the exciting things we're going to talk about that are happening. But I see the dreamer in you, and I'm like thinking, like, gosh, that was soon after you got to Nashville, or not too many years, and how committed you've been on this journey. And it just, it's inspiring to me. And so now, you guys, this is wild. You're a correspondent now for
Yeah,
CNC, a
yeah,
correspondent for country music television. This is a really big deal.
yeah.
It's a really big deal, especially with what we've been talking about. And then you also are being featured at the Country Music
No,
Hall of Fame.
I know. I know. It's like, what is life right now?
What, right? I
Yeah.
mean, see those seeds you planted, and now, stepping forward with this amazing podcast, Color Me Country, with your voice, with your roots, with your heart, so tell us about that. Tell us about the podcast. Tell us about
Sure.
how they can, keep up.
So the show is on Apple Music Country, and it's called Color Me Country Radio with Rissi Palmer. I'm a bi-weekly show, so I'm on Sundays. From So you guys are Central, so I have to so 6 to 8 p.m. Central Time, 7 to 9 Eastern. And the whole idea of this show, the whole goal of this show is to amplify the voices of Black, Latinx, and Indigenous artists, Asian artists, whoever, anybody that's outside of the norm, outside of the box, that is performing or are pursuing or has been a part of the creation of the inception of country music, because all of us have been there since the beginning. It's one of my favorite things about country music is that it's it's for everybody. Like it's not just for one group of people, one particular type of people. Like it's for everybody. It is a thoroughly American art form, and meaning because we all came together here, and however we got here, whether we were brought here, forced here, or we came over voluntarily, we all added something to the mix that is country music. And it's not fair to tell the story one way. And it does a disservice not only to the artists of color, but it does a disservice to white people too, because you don't get the full story and you don't get the full understanding and the beauty of all of it. And so that's the idea behind the show. That's the reason why I started it. And it's named after Linda Martell, her first album, Color Me Country. She was the first Black woman in 1968 to play the Grand Ole Opry.
Wow.
And to this day, she is the highest charting Black solo female artist on the Billboard country charts. And that's from 1969.
Wow.
So, yeah. So yeah, I did it to honor her, and and it was the perfect name for the show. And so yeah, from that, my partner Kelly McCartney, who is my partner in this next endeavor and many other endeavors, we created the Color Me Country Artist Fund, which is a grant fund for artists of color that are pursuing country music careers, and it's we started it in December of 2020, and I hoped that people would want to donate. Within the first 2 weeks we had $15,000, and thanks to CMT and Brandy Carlisle and the Looking Out Fund, we now have a $50,000 endowment. And so it's pretty incredible. And this has just happened since December. And, I've been able to give out now, I believe we're at like 23 grants. And it's incredible. And I don't know, I guess at this point in this juncture of my life, with the Country Music Hall of Fame honor, because they were honoring the show and, and saying that it had impact in country music in this year, which is like huge to me because I love this music and I love this town, and I hated feeling separated and rejected from it. And so this has been really nice to feel like you're appreciated. And and I have to say, Apple Music and country, and CMT made a really are great examples for the rest of the community, I think, in that they make very concerted efforts to make sure that they are diverse and that they are representing all of us, and all of us country music fans, not just the artists, but fans. And that's really important. It's really important, especially in this day and age. So, I'm very honored to be working with all the organizations that I work with, because I see them trying to do the work.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. And I'm so happy for you. And I'm so happy.
Thank you.
Yes, for what you and this represents, for the change, for the shift, long time coming, that we held in our heart. I moved here 25 years ago. I never, ever,
Wow.
I came here because there was no Latinas in country music. Where were we? We were all listening to country music. This was the story of our lives. But we were nowhere. And so for me, like you, when I stood and made history as the first Latina ever to bring mariachi in the 93-year history of the Grand Ole Opry, I wept, and I still weep at that moment, because it's not just about me or us. It's telling a new story of possibilities for any and everyone, no matter what. And that
100%.
is so exciting, that you're now being able to seed other people's dreams. Woohoo!
Yeah, it's crazy. And I love that. I love that you took mariachi and you had it on the Opry. Like, it needs to be this way. Like, this is the way it should be.
Yes.
I love that.
It's so much fun. Yes. Well, before we get, closing up for this interview, I want to ask you, what is next? What is now that these doors are finally being opened, and you're really being appreciated for who you are, all of who you are? What are the dreams that are calling you forward?
That's a great question. I am working on new music, because music is still, even though most of what I do now is talking and advocating, music is still my first love. And so just trying to figure out, in the midst of all these things, how to still make music is a big thing for me right now. So there's a new album coming. I don't know when I'm gonna do it, but it's there, and it's something I want to do. I feel very strongly about doing. And I'm in the process right now. Like, I don't want to talk because I don't want to jinx it, but I'm working on turning the show into a live show.
Yes.
And turning it into my dream. You asked my dream. My dream is, and then I'm trying to make this a reality. I want to do a block party. I want to do a block party right in the middle of Nashville. And I want to have all, like, Stephanie, you're going to have to do it too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I want all the people that I've had on my show, all the artists that should be huge stars and they are not. I want to do it just in the middle of Music Row.
Yeah.
And have Black girls and Latina girls and Indigenous girls and Asian girls and boys and folks. and have vendors. I want taco trucks. I want everything, shea butter vendors, all of that. And I want them to see that we are fans, we are artists, and we spend money, and we need to be acknowledged, and we're just as lucrative as everybody else. Like, that's my dream. And so I'm slowly but surely working on some things that I'm really, really excited about that are gonna come to fruition next year, once we're out of this and we know a little bit better about what everything touring is going to look like. But yeah, making Color Me Country a live situation is what I'm now working on.
I feel it, and it just feels like all of life is fanning the flames of that.
Yeah,
right at this moment. So I'm really excited for you. Well, I guess the last question, and I ask everyone this: what would be your advice for some 2-year-old or 80-year-old or anybody with a dream in their heart? What advice would you give?
I have 2 pieces of advice. Number 1, know which thing you're pursuing. Like, if music, if entertainment is your is your passion, is your love, then are you pursuing being famous? Are you pursuing being a musician? Because those are 2 very different routes, and they require different parts of you. And so I would say be very certain of which one you want. And because I think early on I wasn't. I thought, well, it's just be famous. I don't know, but like, it really is. It's a different set of circumstances, and it asks different questions of you. And then be yourself. And that sounds really simple, and it sounds very cliche, but like, Lord have mercy. Like, I never more in the last 2 years have I been so cognizant of the fact that being myself is exactly what got me here in this moment. Like, not playing it down, not playing it safe, not being afraid, not holding back, like, just 100% unfiltered Rissi is what got to this moment. And so, you can second guess yourself to death, and I am a second guesser for sure. But and I'm a second guesser in remission. And so yeah, just trusting the process, trusting yourself, and trusting God, and knowing that if I'm there, if I do the work, if I rise to the moment, if I rise to the occasion, it may not look like what I want it to look like, but it'll be what it is supposed to be.
Wow. Sage, potent, powerful, heartfelt truths. I can't thank you enough. But hey, how can people get a hold of you? How can they follow
Sure.
you?
Well, the nucleus of everything is RissiPalmerMusic.com. And if you go there, you can find the YouTube, the socials. It links to Color Me Country. It links to really all of the endeavors that I'm working on right now. And yeah, and you can all find it there.
Rissi, I truly mean it. It has really touched my heart, and to meet you and to talk with you here. And I look forward to cheering you on and being a part of your block party in the heart of country music.
Girl, you're in. Like, you already bring the mariachis, honey, because it's like, I want that same setup. Like, I'd love that. So we'll
bring it.
No, you're awesome. Thank you for having me. And I look forward to having you on my show. So this is going to be good.
I will be honored. And
yes,
we're going to leave everybody here with a video that I just love. This is a more recent song of Rissi's, and that I think says it all. It's called Seeds. Thank you, Rissi. Have a blessed day, night.
Same to
And
you.
we'll see you down the Dreamers Road.
Yes, thank you.
Bye-bye, girl.
Bye.
912, black male on foot, 591D, acting erratically, possibly armed, code 3.
Brothers and sisters, don't believe what you've been sold. They can bury your body, but never touch your soul. They built you a prison and locked up your mind. Made you think you're nothing and filled your head with lies. Can't act too free, act too proud, shine too bright, speak too loud. When they try to cut you down, that's when you gotta stand your ground. When they bury our dreams, we push them up through concrete. We growing where they can't see. These roots run deep, cause we are seeds. When we rise up, no weapon can stop us. No wall can block us. No hate can stop love. We are seeds. Hey, I said we are seeds. Mothers and fathers, ancestors of this earth, bring us strength and wisdom. Teach your children what they're worth. Cause armed with truth and mercy, they won't fall to anyone. They're standing on our shoulders, reaching for the sun. When they bury our dreams, we push them up through concrete. We growing where they can't see. These roots run deep, cause we are seeds. When we rise up, no weapon can stop us. No wall can block us. No hate can't stop love. We are seeds. Hey, I said we are seeds. Yeah. So the battle is now, and we are the army. I said the battle is now. We are the army. I said the battle is now, and we are the army. I said the battle is now. It's now. It's now. Right now. Hey, when they bury our dreams, we push them up through concrete. We growing where they can't see. These roots run deep, as we are seeds. When we rise up, no weapon can stop us. No wall can block us. No hate can't stop the love. We are seeds. Hey, I said we are seeds. Yeah. And when we rise up, no weapon can stop us. No wall can block us. No hate can stop the love. We are seeds.
Woo! I don't know if you felt that, but that was amazing. We got to see the very beginning of the Dreamers Road and hear from Rissi Palmer about being 2 years old and having this beautiful dream, how her parents loved it, that seed in her to life, and the road that led to this moment in time with all these exciting things happening for this woman. It's been a true honor to have her here tonight. Thank you so much, Rissi Palmer. I look forward to making more magic with you down the Dreamers Road. Of course, you guys, if you are interested in any Honky Tonk Mariachi merch, I want to show you this little video so you can see what we've got in the pipeline.
We hope you're enjoying this broadcast of Dreamers Road with Stephanie Urbina Jones and the Honky Tonk Mariachi. You can support the Dreamers Road through music and merchandise. Visit www.honkytonkmariachi.com.
As you can see, I have a thing for hats. I love them. I have a woman down in Mexico that paints these amazing sombreros in the sun, and I've been told that they bring magic with them. And of course, we have Honky Tonk Mariachi chocolate with chili peppers and t-shirts and sweatshirts and masks. So check them out. Just a little bit of the fun. You can watch any of the previous episodes that we've done at honkytonkmariachi.com. See about the upcoming Dreamers Road shows, and hopefully sooner than later, we're going to be bringing live music to you. We are so excited about that. We'll see you in 2 weeks down the Dreamers Road. Once again, thank you to Rissi Palmer. My name is Stephanie Urbina Jones and the Honky Tonk Mariachi. Muchísimas gracias, y'all. Muchísimas gracias, y'all. Thank you for watching The Dreamers Road with Stephanie Urbina Jones and the Honky Tonk Mariachi. You can keep up with us on Facebook, Instagram, and by everything at honkytonkmariachi.com. Remember, above all, some dreams are worth dreaming a lifetime to live. Muchísimas gracias. Adios, mis amigos.